What's up guys, it's Coy from Gentleman Within, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing a company by the name of The Dark Knot. And although they may sell neckties, they would tell you that they're not a tie company, but they're in business to give you the best tie experience possible. And as of early 2017, they offered more than just ties. So now they offer ties, they offer lapel flowers, pocket squares, bracelets, money clips, tie bars, cufflinks. And so they offer a wide array of different accessories now. So in this review, I'm going to touch on the elements that make up a quality necktie and my initial impressions on this specific tie. It is a navy skinny tie from their standard collection. So for a little background on the company, The Dark Knot was founded by Rishi Chilani. He was originally working in the corporate world in finance for years and finally decided to leave and threw his hat into the ring in the world of menswear. Started The Dark Knot, and reason being, he just wanted to help men dress better and equip them with the skills and the knowledge. And so that's why he also runs a style blog on top of running The Dark Knot. And he just needed this when he first moved to New York City. And so he saw a need, filled that gap. And so The Dark Knot was born. All right, so it wouldn't be a review without taking a look at the packaging. And if you ask me, The Dark Knot really knocked it out of the park with their packaging. It's really sleek, elegant. It's got that black minimal logo front and center. It's just really clean. It's really perfect for gifting. And it's just a really nice unboxing experience. Well, they did a really good job on that front. You know, some brands couldn't care less about packaging, and in the end, if you're going to deliver a great tie experience, you're going to want to show that in the way that you present your products. And The Dark Knot really killed it with this. Oh, and so one more thing that I really love about their packaging is that all their products come with these really awesome recommendation cards that tell you how to wear the product, what to wear them with, so that's super helpful. And this one for the pocket square comes with this little visual guide that shows you different ways to fold the pocket square. So, you know, super handy. It's in line with their mission of educating men on how to dress better. All right, so Necktie Construction, I just want to talk about the elements that make up a quality necktie. You know, what I first thought, like, a necktie, it's just a piece of cloth that wraps around your neck. There's not much to it, but I did a little research and there's actually many or handful of elements that you want to keep an eye on when looking at what makes a quality necktie. And so I want to break down what makes a quality necktie and where The Dark Knot fares in each of those categories. And so the first is the tie shell, which is this outer shell that can be made from fabrics such as silk, like this tie, cashmere, wool, cotton, linen, polyester. That's one of the fabrics that you probably want to avoid just because they tend to be cheaper and poorly made compared to silk and other fabrics out there that are just better options. If you can afford it, don't go polyester. Okay, so all the Dark Knot ties are made from a premium silk from Chinese factories. And in fact, China has a very rich history with silk. I think back in 3,500 BC was back when silk was first manufactured in China. And till this day, they're one of the largest manufacturers of silk. And so some of the highest quality silks come out of China. And The Dark Knot is from premium silk with really high yarn count to ensure that it is the best possible silk fabrics, and it ensures that the fabric is soft to the touch, has a really nice drape, it has some sheen to it but it's not too shiny, so it's got this subtle elegance. The second element of a quality tie that you want to look out for is called the slip stitch, which you can actually find on the back of the tie, and it's basically the stitching that you're going to find running up the tie. And a sign of a quality slip stitch is it's stitched by hand, and so I believe all the Dark Knot ties are stitched by hand, and that just ensures that it has affordance so that the tie is going to maintain its shape as you're moving throughout the day, and you're untying it and then retying it, and it just keeps the tie shell nicely secure, but giving it that affordance to kind of shift. I've actually got some cheaper neckties that have a slip stitch that you can just tell that it's been machine stitched because it's so tight and there's just not that room to move and shift, or some that are just really poorly stitched that if you just pull it, it feels like it's going to fall apart. So a third element that you want to look out for in a quality necktie is called the bar tack, and you can find that on the back side of the necktie. It's basically the little thread that holds the tie blade together, and a good bar tack, a high quality bar tack, will consist of a thicker thread that is reinforced, and so it holds the shell together much better than, say, a thin piece of thread, which a lot of cheaper made neckties have maybe just one little strand of thread holding it together, and it can just easily be ripped apart. And so that is a hallmark of a quality necktie. Look for the bar tack. The dark knots bar tack is very thick indeed, and it is reinforced, and so that's a plus. All right, so another element of a quality necktie, number 4, is the tipping, and you can find that right here. High quality tipping is constructed with silk fabric, or the same fabric that the tie is made of. And so a lot of cheaper brands, they will have polyester here, and it's just a way to skimp on fabric. High quality, you're going to want it to have silk, which the dark knot is silk tipping with the logo emblazoned on there. And so it's a nice little detail that a lot of other brands don't take note of, but it's all in the details. Okay, so the 5th element in a high quality necktie to look for is the keeper. And under the keeper, you'll also find the tie loop, usually with the brand's logo on it. It's just a secondary way to secure the smaller blade. And I actually think that keeper loops aren't all that necessary, just because sometimes, like, I like to rock my tie sometimes with the shorter blade, you know, hanging out. And so if I'm not rocking a tie bar, I'll have the shorter blade being visible behind the wider blade. It's what they call sprezzatura, casual nonchalance. But anyway, a good tie keeper is going to be just like the bar tack. It's going to be reinforced, and I think all the dark knot tie keepers are reinforced, and they're actually stitched underneath the shell of the tie, and so it gives it that extra, you know, if you're wearing your ties and constantly putting it through the loop, wearing it on and off, it'll make sure that this is just reinforced and it won't come apart over time. So that's another hallmark of a quality necktie. Another element, the 6th element of a high quality necktie, is the interlining. So you actually can't see that because it's on the inside of the tie. It's what the tie shell wraps around, and it's what gives the tie its shape. And so lots of ties typically skimp on fabric there, and they will have a polyester interlining, which isn't all that bad because, you know, you're not really going to see it, but it's actually better to have a fabric like wool or cotton as the interlining, just because wool is a type of fabric that has more memory, and so as you're tying and untying your tie, it'll give the interlining is a fabric that gives it that memory so that it can retain its original shape. And so fabric like polyester doesn't really have that memory, and so it won't really conform back, and it'll be all wrinkled and, you know, nasty looking when you're tying and untying your tie. So wool interlining is what comprises and makes up a quality necktie, and the dark knot ties, I believe, has a wool interlining in addition to a thin layer of cotton as well, and so it has double interlining, the wool to give it that memory and cotton to give it some smoothness, I believe. And so, yeah, can't see it, but dark knot grades well with the interlining. All right, so number 7, the 7th thing that you should look out for when looking for a high quality necktie is that the tie was cut on the bias. Now, this is something that I still have a hard time of understanding what it means, but according to my research, it's that the tie was cut on the bias at a 45-degree angle, which allows for it to drape properly from when it was manufactured. And so a way you can test that is you would take your necktie. I'm not going to take it off right now just because I like the way it looks, but you would drape it over your arm, and if it drapes properly straight down without twisting, turning, then it was cut on the bias. And sometimes, like when you would wear a tie that wasn't cut properly, I guess, it would be twisting, or it would twist and turn on you in all kinds of weird ways. And so yeah, cut on the bias. All right, still learning. All right, so overall the Dark Knots necktie grades pretty well according to all those categories of what makes a high quality necktie. And so this tie here is from their standard collection. I believe there are 3 tiers of the Dark Knot ties. You got the standard for $55, luxury for $69, and premium for $85. And so I haven't tried their higher tiers yet, but perhaps I will in the future. And so the Dark Knot ties gets an A grade.